Hello, Bigfoot enthusiast. Hi, this is Scott here from Blue Mountain Bigfoot Research and
Hannah from Squatching with Hannah.
and welcome to our Monday night, but used to be Sunday night.
Will be Sunday night again.
Will be Sunday night again. Live stream. So, who we got with us tonight?
So if you would do us a great big favor, if you are watching this, please type something into the chat bar. And if I wear these, all I hear is echo, echo, echo.
Yes, you do.
So I'm going to get rid of those.
Okay.
Just enter something into the chat bar, and so we know who's out there. We've got a really fun evening for you tonight, and we cannot really wait to get to it.
Hi, Renee. Alrighty. So.
And hi, Justin. Yeah, Justin, I went purple in my quarantine boredom.
Yeah. Alrighty. And so, everybody, what I want to do is I want to introduce to you tonight. Well, first
let's catch them up.
Let's catch them up. Okay.
Yeah.
So
why we weren't on last night?
Yeah, we weren't on last night is because we decided to sneak out of our quarantine place in Florence, Oregon, in the coast, and we left a days early.
Could not do it anymore.
Yeah, we couldn't stay there. Yeah, it's like you're quarter of a mile from the beach you can't go to. So we headed over to the Cascade Mountains on the base on the Mount Hood area, and we met up with Christy. And let me explain who Christy is. Christy is Blue Mountain Bigfoot Research's west coast of Oregon investigator.
She's our west side contact.
Yeah, she's the contact over there, and she does research and all that fun stuff. So we decided to meet up with her. We stayed 6 feet apart.
No, we didn't.
Oh, yes, we did.
No, we didn't.
We did too, to be legal. Okay, so Christy just said she can't hear me. Oh, because I took the mic over there.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll work on that, Christy, in 1 second. So
we're still getting all this Skype into OBS, which streams into YouTube, which does all the things. Anyway, so long story short, we met up with Christy for a couple days, did some squatching, and then yesterday we drove however many hundreds of miles it was home, and that's why we didn't have our show last night, because we got here and we were just exhausted. And you did not want to see that. So anyway, back to you. That was the Cliff Notes version.
Okay, so I'm gonna see if I can get Christy's back. Let's see if she can hear us. We'll try that. Nope. We'll try that. Maybe she can hear us.
And while
now.
he's figuring it out.
Okay, Christy, can you hear us?
I don't think so.
Uh-oh. She hears a hum. I hear that now too. Okay. This sucks. Okay.
Is that okay? Is that okay to say?
What?
Can you say sucks on...
Yes. Yes, you can. So...
Well, while he's working out technical difficulties...
You can see Christy.
Tell us, what has been going well in your life this week? Any Squatch sightings? Any new information? Any funny quarantine stories? I love those.
Okay.
Justin had an encounter on Mount Hood. That would be a no.
That would be a no. Okay. Can we hear her? She's still trying not.
We are still trying to get our guest hooked up here. So I would love to hear stories about sightings. Johnny says it sounded like a cricket invasion. I don't understand the reference. I'm so sorry.
Oh, when I turned the other mic on.
Oh, when he turned the... Okay. All right.
Okay.
So we honest to goodness, we spend all afternoon setting this up, but it never fails. You go live and nothing works. Nothing.
Mm-hmm. Would you? Oh, can't type to her. Weird. Hello, can you hear me now, Christy?
This is rather embarrassing. She's giving you the no look.
No, not now. Gosh, this is weird. Did she mute something on her part? I don't know.
I don't know. Garrett is on the line. Hi, Garrett. Garrett is our friend from New York. He lived here.
Okay.
I'm going to entertain them for a bit.
Okay.
Garrett lived here in Baker City for a few months, a year, I don't know. But he was my very best Starbucks barista, and he made every morning wonderful. So I'm so glad to see him on. And we are going to try to get over there. We are going at least as far as Wisconsin this summer. So maybe we can arrange a meetup somewhere.
Okay. I don't know what's going on. No? Oh my gosh, Christy. Can you... I can't type to her either, can I?
No.
Shall we try calling her back?
Let's try. All right, so
all right. Talk.
I'm supposed to entertain all of you. So the purple hair is no longer new. I did find out she can't. Oh, Justin, she can't read chat because she's not on YouTube. We've got her on Skype. So I hear the crickets now, by the way.
Yeah.
Anyway, so funny quarantine story. On Easter Sunday, we had a Zoom dinner with our kids.
Okay.
That was the week that we didn't have a show. And everyone brought their plates to the screens and we were all eating together. And as part of our travels, we stop at wineries to spend the night and often buy a bottle or two or three of wine just to give them business because they let us stay for free. Anyway, so on Easter Sunday, I was preparing ham and broccoli and potatoes and all the things for Easter with our kids on Zoom. And I realized that I had no wine glasses. However, we do have jelly jar glasses in our cabinet. And I can tell you right now that your average jelly jar glass will hold a half a bottle of wine. Just so you know, there are ways to do this.
Okay, can you hear me now? No. Oh my gosh. Audio and video settings.
I'm running out of funny stories.
I know.
Any funny stories out there? Craig, please tell us about watching a long ad about peeing on your toothbrush. Please
Okay.
share with us.
All right. Can you hear me now, Christy? No.
Yes, Johnny, we are going to Wisconsin. We're going to do a town hall.
For a second. Could you?
Oh no!
I hear her.
I can hear you.
I can hear Christy. Anyway,
I can
Johnny.
hear you now.
What?
I can hear you now.
All right, everybody. This is Christy.
All right, yes.
Okay. All right. Now,
before we continue, Craig,
okay.
my toothbrush has been safe on the sink for 50 years, so
she's going away
don't
again.
tell me anymore.
All right. So,
did you go away
what?
again?
Really? I wonder.
That was crystal clear, and now it's not.
Her.
Now it's not.
I can hear her.
It's gone again.
Okay.
I'm gonna shut the door too, so the dogs don't bark.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
All right. So anyway, yes. Johnny, we are going to Wisconsin because we're having a town hall and a live radio show at WLIP. And that's the station that hosts the podcast that this guy has been on several times. And so we are headed out there to do some live stuff. And so let's see, he says that the Upper Peninsula, Michigan, Hiawatha National Forest is a hot Squatch area. So we will put that down so we can make sure to hit that place up because we'll be there for several weeks.
There were almost words there.
Okay.
Well, I can hear Christy loud and clear.
Okay, you can hear me?
Yes. Yes. We can
now
hear you.
I can't hear her. Now she's just talking and I can't hear her.
Really?
Yes. What did you do?
I have no idea. Because the settings are the same. That's video.
Well, everyone.
Oh my gosh. Anyway. Oh, I've got an idea.
I wish there was something stronger than ginger ale in here right now at this point.
I've got an idea.
Oh, you're a smart man. Are you calling me?
Yes.
Now I hear him. Her.
Well,
I hear her.
Okay.
I know we can hear her.
So maybe we can I'll commute on this end and we can do sound over the phone.
Exactly.
All right. So
well, let's see, I could hear that.
We are going to work around.
You can? You can hear that now? But now I can't hear you.
I'm not saying anything, so.
Oh my God.
She's behind. There's.
Oh, I'm trying to watch on Hannah. Okay, never mind. Okay. Where are you?
Oh, well, an evening in the paddy wagon is always full of fun and festivity.
I'm going to mute
and
the
frustration.
Skype. Don't mute the Skype.
Don't mute the Skype. Don't mute the Skype.
Yeah. Hello. Hi. Okay, so don't mute your Skype or they can't hear you. Okay. No. You're going to listen to the phone so you can hear me. Yes, I think so.
I can't hear her.
Yeah, unmute Skype and you should be able to. Mm-hmm.
Still can't hear her.
She's got to unmute Skype.
I hear dog. That's good.
All right, we'll put you on speaker here so you can hear us.
This is going to be interesting.
Oh, I got hung up.
You hung up on her.
Okay.
Now you're not.
All right, there we go. Okay.
And of course, now the Skype is working and the phone is working. Of course.
Right.
All right. We'll just leave it on and just in case. All right, everybody.
All of you, everyone, let's give a hand for Skype and Scott and Christy.
Yeah. So everybody, that only took 15 minutes. All right. So everybody, you've seen her for a while on the screen here. This is Christy, so she can hear us. So what we did is we met up with Christy, and I'm going to go through a little story here. There is this book, ladies and gentlemen, called The Oregon Bigfoot Highway.
It's amazing.
It's got big print and lots of pictures. You will love it.
Yeah. And Christy knows this book inside and out, and she literally lives there. I mean, right where this book was written.
Yeah, right outside of Estacada.
Yeah, so where this Bigfoot Highway is, and they can see on the screen, Christy, you can't see it, but there's a map. There's Estacada, and this road that winds around the mountains, and actually comes out at Detroit Lake. Right now, you can't get through all that way because of snow and stuff. So there's this town, or it's not a town, it's more like a wide spot in the road called Ripon, or
Ripplebrook.
Ripplebrook. Where it's Ripon. That's in California. so Ripplebrook Guard Station, of course, it was closed. So we drove from Florence to there, and then Christy caught up and met us there, and then we followed her up in the mountains, roughly on the map where you see here. And we camped there for 2 nights, and we're on the edge of a power line cut.
Yes.
And I want to tell you first, a power line cut is a great place to go squatching. Mainly because it becomes a prey highway. Deer graze there. They travel up and down it because you don't have to go through the
Predator
forest.
Highway. It sounds like a horror movie.
In the Predator Highway horror movie. Yeah. So if there's prey there, there's
predators.
So there's that. So that's where we were at. So
it's absolutely gorgeous up there. By the way,
it is
it's just
completely gorgeous,
so beautiful,
yeah,
and peaceful. And because we were boondocking on Forest Service land that is not closed, thank you very much. We were extremely legal.
Yeah.
Those of you who are wondering, we were camping quite legally. It was just beautiful and peaceful, and no people.
Oh, it was awesome. So here's a photo of a photo that's in the book. Now, this is a hand drawing of the
of someone's sighting.
Yeah, of someone's sightings. Now, this one was 8/3 in 2014. So, Christy, you want to tell them the story about this?
The picture.
Into the whole book.
The picture.
So the author of the book knows a lot of Forest Service people, and he had gone out with a couple of Forest Service workers and a college student. And so they're up there, and he has a favorite place where the author sets up his truck. And they go up there, and he and his Forest Service worker friend are setting up camp, and the other friend wanders off and starts drawing something and comes back and grabs a beer and sets up an easel, and he's gone for like an hour and a half. Doesn't say a word, just keeps drawing and won't leave that spot. And they're like, gosh, what's he looking at? And they're actually out squatching. That's the funny part. So the long and the short of it is he had a sighting for an extended period of time of this creature standing behind a log. And he comes back and he pulls his friend aside and says, you need to be more observant. Look what I just saw. And I believe the author actually published it under the title, Be More Observant. So he's got the chapter on the from that book online. Anyway, it's a really great area. So after I actually was given that book by a Forest Service worker because I had an incident occur on that same road. And of course I went to the forest station to tell him because I'm super excited and I don't know who else to tell. And he goes, hey, you should take this book. This book, apparently, a lot of stuff happens on this road because there aren't many people. So I started driving to all the different sites in all the chapters. And I'm a firm believer if you look, you will find. And you have to have numbers of hours in the forest because it's not like I went out to one spot and something happened. It was like I would go to the spot, go to the spot, go to the spot, something would happen. Go to the next spot, go to the next spot, go to the next spot, something would happen. Great book.
Yeah.
And we have it in stock. So please go to squatchoregon.com and click on the store and you can buy it straight from us.
Okay.
That's
now
nice.
back to our sponsor.
Okay. All right. So I am right now, Chrissy, you can't see this, but I have a photo of that stump.
Yes.
Oh, good.
And
oh my gosh, even the foliage looks the same.
Exactly. I actually.
How many years have gone by since that was done?
Yeah, 6 years, and it's got a. It's almost exact. I have overlaid the picture on the other picture, and when you fade back and forth, it looks perfect. Actually,
that's awesome.
So,
he's actually standing behind the stump in one of those pictures, but
yeah,
you can't see him. There's so much brush.
Yeah. So. Anyway, we hiked up and around that area.
Even I hiked. Even I hiked.
Even Hannah hiked.
Yeah. That's the best.
That was like a 45-degree incline, by the way.
Yeah,
my legs were pounding the next day.
Yes, that's a pretty steep hill to get up there, but we hiked up there in the rain, by the way, because. You know, it's over there on the coast of Oregon where it rains all the time.
Oh, it was so beautiful.
Is that considered the Willamette Valley still area?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Just the edge of it.
Yeah, it's the edge of it. So the Willamette Valley is nothing but rain all the time. So,
well, it's mostly actually that area is mostly called the Wild and Scenic Clackamas River area or the Kallawash Basin. That's actually how they refer to it,
oh, okay.
like on the Forest Service
Oh,
maps.
okay. Well, cool. So, if you guys got questions for Christy and the Bigfoot Highway,
and she knows that highway like the back of her hand, so
yeah.
let her have it.
I have so many stories, I don't even know where to start. So
Well, pick one.
I'm just like,
pick a story and
pick one and
regale
go.
us. Regale us.
Well, I guess
do
since you talked about the stump,
Yeah.
since you talked about the stump, I'll start with the more recent one. How's that?
Okay.
So in October, I had a new hunting partner, and he had never hunted before. So I figured it would be real safe to hunt the power cut line. Okay. And I could, we could work on becoming a team, right? We were bear hunting. So we go up there and we set up by the stump because that's my go-to spot, right? And in the evening, about 10 o'clock in the evening, I hear at subhuman, ridiculous levels what sounds like an angry, monkey, screeching woman just bellowing that ends in the classic whoop. And then from a couple miles away, I hear a returning whoop. And then I hear her screech what sounds like a foreign language. And then I'd hear another whoop. And I was mesmerized. And this went on for about every 2 hours. And I literally got the impression that a monkey, angry woman was screaming, "Get your ass back here, dinner's ready." I mean, it was that urgent of a tone. And it was always responded to like, "I'm hurrying, oh my gosh." And I was like, I wish I didn't have any. I didn't hear that.
No, that's okay. Keep going, sorry.
Oh, okay. And I was like, I don't have anything to record it on. And I had my little my parabolic sound dish, which I didn't need because it literally was so loud you could feel the edges of my travel trailer vibrating. And I'm like, oh, I wonder if the phone will pick this up. And I'm like, but I'm mesmerized because I'm like, this is so cool. I'm actually hearing it. And my hunting partner's like, oh my gosh, that's real. I have actually chills running down my back when I'm talking about it. But it was super cool. So it gets better. So this goes on for a couple hours. And every time she screams, I wake up and I'm like, I need something to record this. Go back to bed. And then we're up at like, I don't know, 4:15. So we walk out on the power cut. We're waiting for when we can start hunting. And we decide we're going to split up. So I go down and I go into the area that I call the zoo. Now, I call it the zoo because there's so many wild animals there, you can actually hear them moving in the brush because the road has been shut off to cars for like 5 years, okay? 4 or 5 years. So I'm walking along, and all of a sudden, I can feel the ground go thump, 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 and I hear something coming crashing through the bushes behind me, and I hear something in front of me coming crashing down the bushes. At this point, I believe it was about 6:10, and I stood there, and I could hear the two running together. And roughly 3/4 of the way ahead of me, I could hear something, a third thing moving that literally sounded like a deer. And I heard crash, 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 something busting through. And I'm like, I instantly thought, well, there goes my hunting trip. They're totally hunting. And then, of course, everything went silent. And I heard crack. And then it was silent. So they got whatever they were pinning between them. And then I was like, oh, that's fine. I'll just sit down here. That was a nice hike.
Yeah.
But there was no doubt that there were two enormous bodies moving through brush. This is pretty thick brush, too.
Yeah, it is.
So you guys saw that. Did you have any pictures of the brush in the trees there behind where we were camping?
Yeah.
How thick that is? So that was really thick brush. So they're crashing through it. All right.
I wonder what the wait a minute vines do to them.
I don't know. There's a lot of vines on the ground. I call them wait a minute vines. That's those like pokey vines that are just on the ground. And every once in a while they reach up and grab your foot and you can't walk through.
Yeah, definitely. They are wait a minute vines.
Yeah.
Well, I went back the next day, I think it was. It might have even been the same day. When you're hunting, it's like one long unit of time. Like you hunt, you eat, you hunt. So I go back down there. And then my partner catches up with me, and I say, let's turn right because we hear something in the bush, okay? So we come up, and you move so quiet because no matter how quiet you move, the forest still knows you're there. but you still try to be as quiet as you can. So we're coming into an offshoot. We start to move into a clearing where there's heavy brush, and then I can hear something breathing super hard, but it doesn't. Are you there?
Yep.
Oh. I don't know what that is. Somebody was trying to FaceTime me, I guess.
Okay.
Anyway, so we get down there, and I see something there, and then we chamber, and we're ready because I'm pretty sure it's a buck because you can tell it's heavy and it's big and it's breathing. And then I went, wait a minute, bucks don't breathe like that. That actually sounds like somebody, like another hunter, is panting like they're out of breath. And then my partner and I, we kind of space out, and we're trying to get a good look through this trees, and the whole forest goes deadly silent. And I see something, and so I try to put a scope on it, and it moves. And then I try to put a scope on it, and it moves. And I didn't want to like scare my partner or anything. So I'm like, I don't know what that is. Let's keep walking. So we kept walking, and the forest got quieter and quieter and quieter. And then I could see a game trail, and it made me wonder if that's what they were crashing through, earlier. Anyway, so that was a very weird incident right after what I perceived as the pinning of game in the middle. I don't know of any other predator that would gang up with another predator to pin something between it.
Right.
Well, predators do.
Well, wolves.
No, predators.
Oh, from the...
Oh, you mean from the movie? I'm like, what are you talking? Which predator?
The really ugly ones.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, I don't think that these were the ones from the movies.
No. Okay.
Why are you playing that?
I don't know. I clicked the wrong thing.
What?
Okay.
That was my really great occurrence. And then, so with that particular area, I say about 7 out of 10 times when you go, you're going to experience, hear, or see something. So last Sunday, gosh, time goes by so fast. So that Sunday, 8 days ago, I took the dogs out there to run them. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. So I take the dogs out there to run them, and there's a bunch of people shooting in the lower gravel pit, and they shoot something really huge. I mean, and it just goes boom. And I'm thinking they blew up a car or shot like a 50 BMG or something. It's that loud that it echoes all the way through the mountainside. And they must have stopped to reload, and all of a sudden I hear like a whoop back. And I was like, what? And every one of them were like, what was that? Because it was huge. It was like in response to that boom. And then it went quiet again. I was like, okay, they're there. They heard it. Right? So that was last 8 days ago. So
cool.
I have so many stories. I'm like, where do I go with this one? Because those are the most recent.
Well, you know what, Christy? I love the story that you told, the one where you became a believer, and everyone knows how much we hate that word. But like your very first one that just it's what inspired you to get rid of your pop-up and buy a real trailer.
Oh, okay. That wasn't my first. That wasn't my necessarily first encounter because I'd done stuff prior to that. That was my first terrifying. Holy shit! Excuse me, I didn't mean to say that.
Oh, you can't.
That was my knees shaking, can't stand. Oh my god, this is awful experience. So I had just got that Bigfoot, and I purchased a brand new RV. They're not related. But I had the brand new RV, and it was a hybrid with the tent pop-outs. Mm-hmm. And I was camping 21 days out of the month because the way my job worked, I would work a couple days and then be off for like 9 days. And I go camping because I had my new rig. And I had my big Doberman with me who had a huge prey drive. That dog was afraid of nothing. And then I had our little Australian Shepherd who was afraid of everything. So those were my two companions. So we go to an area that's in the book, and it happens to be my favorite area because I'd never towed before, and I could literally go from my house straight to the site, pull around, camp, and then pull back out. There was no backing up. It was just perfect. Okay. So that is, I have to remember my mileage markers. It's like 6.7 miles, 6.75 miles past the Ripplebrook guard station. Okay. It's on the left. Excuse me. So I get there. I get all set up. This is probably my 10th time with the trailer out. And I'm excited. It's July I want to say July 2nd. So it's a Friday.
So middle of the summer in the Willamette Valley.
Yeah.
2018. And there was a fire. Now this is actually relevant later. So there was a fire up in the gorge. Okay, so everything's being pushed down.
I remember that.
All right, so I'm sitting there and I'm super excited. My friends aren't coming till the next day, right? So let's see, 4, 3, 2. So actually it was July 1st, and I put it on Facebook. Anyway, so I'm sitting there, I'm super excited, and then I hear like, here's not the right word, and you feel and you perceive, okay? Like if you're standing next to someone, you close your eyes, you can perceive them, okay? And then if they move, there's air current, you can feel the floor move. So there's more to perceptions than just thinking it's there. So I perceive something's there, and my trailer's moving just a little bit. And I'm like, that's kind of weird. And I look at the dogs, and they're just laying there, and I'm not moving, so why is the trailer moving? It's got great jacks on it, right? And then all of a sudden the dog jumps up, the big bad one with his prey drive, and he goes right to the window, and he alerts. And I'm like, oh shit, there's squirrels out there. But it's like midnight, and I'm like, that's not a squirrel. And he takes a big whiff, his eyes roll back in his head, big Doberman, 100 pounds, crawls into the bunk, crawls under the blanket. He's got all four of he's got his little legs sticking out, and his eyes roll back, and he's quivering in terror. And the Aussie is digging as deep as she can get, and she's quivering. And I'm like, that is so weird. I'm like, I wonder if that's a bear. So I grabbed my gun, which seemed huge up to that point. It was a .357. So I grabbed my gun, and I'm like, my legs feel watery. So I flick on the light. I don't see anything. I turn off the light. I go to move to the end of the trailer, right? Which I'm walking, the way the trailer's positioned, I would have been walking towards the forest because it's a meadow, okay? So I start walking towards the end of the trailer, and as I walk, my legs are getting waterier, like they can't support me. I'm like, what is wrong? Do I have high blood sugar? Is this like a stroke? What the hell is wrong with my legs? Do I have to go to the bathroom? I'm like baffled. And I'm like, what is wrong? And I got this gun, and I'm gripping it for dear life. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to shoot myself because I can't figure out why my legs won't move. So I put the gun down, but it's close. And then I go to throw the door open. There's nothing there. And I go back inside. And when I move backwards, I have a little bit of motion. But then I get afraid. I'm like, what am I afraid of? Am I afraid because the dog's freaking out? This is ridiculous. Okay, so that incident, it ends. I finally go to bed. The dogs are normal. The shepherd won't leave the trailer. So Saturday morning, I take the dogs back to my house in Portland, and I come back because I live close enough to do that. Because I'm like, you know what? Those dogs must have freaked me out. I don't know what that was last night, but that was terrifying. My friend gets there. He is a die-hard, dyed-in-the-wool, not believer. In fact, he is one of those guys that you want to punch in the face. He's like, those things aren't real. People are full of crap. I've been hunting for 70 years and they don't know shit. It's all bear sightings. And I'm just like, he's like offensive about it. This is the best part of the story. So day 2, I don't mention to him what's occurred. I'm just super glad he's there. And I'm glad the dogs are gone because I'm pretty sure that night it's going to be a normal night. So I sit down and I open my little Bigfoot highway, and I'm looking at the areas around. Because when we go camping, we scout out hunting areas, and I always pair them with Bigfoot areas. I don't tell him that, but I want to go look, right? So I'm reading this book, and now a tent camper has moved in 400 yards from us. I mean, we're in the wilderness. These are not established campsites. It's wilderness. So they're in the little tuck of trees. And I'm reading my book, and it's 3 a.m., 2:30 a.m. I'm reading, and I see a light go on and a light go off. Then I see a light go on and a light go off. I'm like, what is he doing? Is he drunk? Like, gosh, why couldn't he be further away? Like 400 yards is close. It totally wasn't close. But I see the light go on, and I see the light go off. Then I feel the weird footsteps again. It was super weird. And my friend is dead asleep. So now I'm laying there. I'm like, I feel that again, and the dogs aren't even here. So I turn the lights on, I turn the lights off, the outside lights, I don't see anything. I go to get up again, and my legs are shaking again. I'm like, I don't know what this is. What is this? What is wrong with me? Then I go back to bed. Then I start hearing clacking. Then I hear like cracking timber, like if you took a big tree and snapped it like a matchstick. Then I hear like footsteps, and then I see the lights go on and the lights go off, and I see the lights go on. So this goes on till about 4:30, 4:45, and I can't sleep. And I literally think, because you see it all over, I thought it was a bear. I'm like, oh my God, there are tent campers and there's a bear in our camp. And I've got my gun right there. And I'm like, I should go charging out there and save their life. Oh, and then I've got the moral dilemma of, do I go save the tent campers and possibly die? Right? I'm running through this, which is totally not making my legs shake. I have to tell you, when faced with that decision, there was not the level of fear or whatever that thing was when my legs were shaking. So I'm laying there going, okay, well, his light went out. He must be asleep. I don't hear screams. So if I hear screams, I'll run out there and save him. 400 yards isn't that far. Well, yeah, it's pretty far. These are the thoughts going through my head. Finally, I go to sleep. The sun comes up. It's about 7:30 in the morning. And my friend comes in. Mr. They're not real. And this is what he says. Get up, get up. You can't sleep in this morning. Get up, get up. You have to see what I found. Get up, get up. I was gathering wood. Get up, get up, get up. And I'm too embarrassed to admit that I laid in my bunk afraid of animals all night long. So I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm bright and wide awake. What? Yeah, I'm not going to sleep in. What? He goes, come here. I'm not even going to say it. You just come here. And I go, what? So we come out to where the cracking noise was, and there's an enormous tree, maybe this big around, not a dead tree, a live tree. And it's been snapped in half, not at the top, but at the bottom of the ridge. So it looks like, okay, wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. It's broken. Right below the break, because he headed for that tree to get wood. He realizes it's a green tree, and he looks down. And he sees an enormous footprint, barefoot, in the rock. Not the mud, not the grass, in the rock. Our trucks were not leaving tracks in this gravel rock. You saw the rock at the pit we were camping, right? Mm-hmm. It was rock like that. So you see this enormous footprint, and then you see another one like it went, I don't know if you can see me, but boom, like it jumped and landed with 1 foot out. Okay? Then like 6 feet up, you see another footprint. Then you see another footprint. So near as we can figure, it jumped down and it grabbed the tree like to steady itself, broke the tree. Then we see a smaller set of barefoot footprints. So these footprints are running all around our camp. The big ones and the littler ones. And I'm like, oh my God, oh my God. So I'm taking pictures, which I showed these to Jeff Meldrum, and he said that they were probably Sasquatch. I just have to say that because I was like, what could these be? And he's like, well, it looks like it is what it is. I'm like,
okay.
It's called accept. You can only accept things what they are. You can't change them. So you just accept.
Right. Yeah.
So then as soon as I see those, I remember lights on, lights off. So I go hauling ass over. Now, this is very interesting. So this tent camper's girlfriend refused to burn her toilet paper. So she tied it in a bag and hung it in the tree. She tied it with a double knot in a plastic bag. So he gets up in the morning, and there is toilet paper all around, like something stood there and went, wee, right? And his entire, the thumping of it we heard, his entire fire ring has been tossed into the middle of the road. And now these are not little rocks like this. These are big rocks. Can you see this? Yeah. Big boulders around these man-made campfire pits. So they've been tossed. And he's trying to roll the big ones back so he gets them out of the road, and he brings all the little ones back. Picks up the toilet paper, hangs it in the tree, and I go, so what happened last night? He goes, something was sniffing around our tent, and they had a pet rat that they took camping with them. That's kind of important too. The pet rat's in the truck. So his girlfriend has got that big old bag of toilet paper hanging, like hanging way up. And it's all over the place. And I say, come here, come see something. Because I don't even want to say what I think has happened, right? So I drag him over here, I go, look. And he goes, oh, his jaw drops. And he starts following these tracks all the way to their campsite. And he follows these tracks in circles around his tent. Then he finds a trail coming off the ridge. So I don't know if you can see this slant. Can you see that slant?
Yep.
That's how steep the ridge was. Then it goes up to the cliff face. and it's kind of tilted like this. So the tracks go all the way along that behind my campsite. So it looks like something came down off of there, came to over and around us, went back around his, went back up. I got pictures of all these prints. Then I went back, took pictures again with those tongs you barbecue with so that you could get a good size, and I put a coffee cup next to it because I didn't have any measuring equipment. So that was the second night. So he cleans up all the toilet paper, and of course his girlfriend hangs it in the tree. I'm like, why don't you bring it over here? We'll just burn it. He goes, no, she doesn't want to burn paper. I'm like, dude, it's plastic. He's like, I go, you don't burn plastic. He's like, she doesn't burn anything. So I'm like, okay, fine. So she puts her stuff back up in the tree. We get lots of pictures. The next night, so this would be July 1, 2, so the night of July 3rd, they come back and we hear the cracking. Now at this point, there's like none of the weird leg stuff, okay? But most of the noise is coming from his tent. Like his tent area and his lights are on and his lights are off. The next morning we go out, toilet paper everywhere again. He's picking it back up. Now these knots are not ripped. I forgot to mention this. They're untied. So they're pulled out of the tree and they're untied.
That's interesting.
That's opposable framework.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a bear is going to maybe like rip it down and shove it down and so, yummy, toilet paper.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we go over there, there's more prints and there's little prints. So we're thinking, okay, it's a juvenile. His fire ring is in the middle of the road again. They didn't come back over to us. We were running the generator, probably why. Shut the generator off. We could hear a little bit. So I decided to put something out for it. So I put out, in my brilliance, I know that the author has put out apple pies and his wife cooks for the Squatches. Mm-hmm. So I put out like a pork chop in a plastic bag and I zip it because I'm like, if they have opposable thumbs and they can get this open, oh my gosh. So I put in a pork chop and I put in a cinnamon cracker, graham cracker. And I think this might have been offensive, but I put an apple core. I thought about it later. Yeah, how am I going to get anything off an apple core? It should have been a whole apple. But anyway, and I put it on a table close to the ridge so they can zoom over and take it and zoom back. And I put it where I can hopefully see footprints. So the next day, when we get up, it's now July 4th. I get up at so it's the 3rd. Yeah, so it's July 4th. It's Monday. I think Monday. It was Monday that year or Tuesday. We have a party to go to, so I got to get everything set up. And so I go to check my table, and sure enough, it's open. And the graham cracker has what looks like a bite out of it, but it's such a tiny bite. I was like, could that be a rodent tooth? Because you expect a big critter to take some bites, going to have a huge indent, but it was only about that big. So I was like, that could be a critter. And then I was like, did I zip this? It's unzipped because they were the Ziploc bags. And I didn't actually take a picture because now I take pictures before and after, in case you forget. Like, did I leave that open? Did I not leave that open? Is that a good experiment? Probably not. But the pork chop had been moved out, kind of like, ew, gross. And there was a little bite out of the graham cracker. I turn around and I'm getting everything set up. And I walk over to the neighbor, and in the mud, because now it's started to rain, okay? So there's actual dirt. There's a series of steps leading to and away from his camp. And you can see in the dust, the hair brushing, crystal clear outlines, right? And you can see that break where the foot does the weird motion, mid-tarsal break, I think.
Break, yeah.
Jeff Meldrum called it. So I got really good pictures of those. And I could not wait to get back to town. I think I crested that hill into Estacada and I think I was like post before I even got all the way off the mountain. So by the time I get to my 4th of July party, I have people saying they're going to show us. I'm like, oh my God, look, I had tons of pictures. And at that point, I was like, I got to tell somebody. And the BFRO volunteers weren't working Oregon, like they didn't have a volunteer for Oregon. Didn't know who to call. That's how I actually met Scott, because I'm Googling the crap out of somebody I can report this to, right? Because only with enough data can you put together a pattern. Mm-hmm. In the interim...
That's why we like her, because she's got science.
Thank you. So in the interim, I also traded my 357 in for a 45 automatic. Because I realized that big old gun was not big enough for a big critter.
Yeah.
Got a bigger gun. I also got something with a badass safety on it so that if I'm quivering, I don't shoot myself.
And you got a new trailer.
Yeah, that's such a funny story. So I go to Blue Dog RV. I've had this thing like 4 months. And it's outfitted. It's lifted. It's got some monster tires on it. It is outfitted for it. It's awesome. And I walk in and I say, I want to trade this in. I don't want it. And they're like, why? I'm like, well, and I think, should I tell them the truth? And this is a salesman I don't know. I say, oh, a bear run in. If a bear wants to kill me, it's just going to chomp down through the bunk bed. He goes, oh, well, let me give you some advice. I'm like, just don't. Well, here, you could just sell it yourself. I'm like, no, I'm trading it in. I need something with metal sides. Well, ma'am, let me tell you about bears. I said, don't tell me about bears. I said, you know what? It was a freaking Bigfoot, okay? It wasn't a bear. It was a Bigfoot. And the guy goes, oh, wait, hold on. And he goes and gets his manager. And he goes, okay, so, ma'am, what is it that you want? I tell him what I want. He's like, why do you want? I'm like, because it was a bear. And the guy goes, I go, fine, it was a Bigfoot. I had a Bigfoot run in. It scared the crap out of me. I need 4 solid walls around me. So he goes, wait, let me go get somebody else. So at this point now, I've had to tell the story like 5 times to these guys. But they did trade it in for me, and I got the same model with a slide, and it's solid. But it made me feel much safer. To think that you have a thin piece of fabric between you and something that can crush you is really not a good feeling.
Yeah, true.
It's different when you're at the top and you've got a gun pointed at them, right? But you're sleeping, so you don't.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I got my trailer.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, people laugh at me for hammock camping in the woods. But
speaking of hammock camping, we want to give a special shout out to our son Dustin. Thanks for joining us tonight. Yes, we do love being bear burritos.
Yeah, that's what Dustin calls us, bear burritos. So
yeah, I wouldn't be afraid of bear, but after my incident in the trailer, I would not do hammock camping.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the things that the author in that book talks about very often when he returns again and again to these sites, he says they will come peek on him or look like he can feel them standing over him and staring at him, or he can. One time he talked about camping in the back of his truck and he could feel it breathing on him and he could smell it, but he was afraid to move because he didn't want to get like killed. I think at that point I would not be sleeping in the back of my truck. I would get a canopy or a trailer, but the author's he's super badass. I mean, if you read some of the things he does, he's tough.
Yeah.
I'm totally not that tough.
Okay, well, wow.
Wow, that's awesome.
So we are down to 10 minutes.
Wow.
Really?
Christy,
yes.
You are riveting. And I tell you what, here's how I know that they're interested, because there was precious little going on the chat.
Yeah.
I mean, people were staring at you bug-eyed. So, because we're down to 10 minutes, we've got time for just a few questions. So start putting them in. But if we don't get to them, please, after the video posts, go in and have your conversation on the comments. This is going to be great for algorithms. Let's make this video go viral. Come on. Yeah. Anyway, yes, and I'm going to ask something. Can we please not argue too much on the comment stream?
Okay, but if we get done and you still have questions for Christy, put them in the comments. I'll make sure she gets them and we can answer them.
Absolutely.
In the comments. But I want to show you something now that Christy was done with her stories, and she's got more. But
she's got more. We'll have her back.
I got so many more.
We'll have her
so
back
many more
about this Oregon Bigfoot Highway, and we want to get back over there and spend some more time with Christy in the woods like we did last weekend. It was so.
We had so much fun.
I know. It was raining so bad.
It was all right.
And Christy said, well, I'm going to leave and go do laundry because, it's just soaking wet out here. And I didn't blame her. And
10 minutes after she left.
10 minutes after she left, the sun came out.
And we had a whole
figures. It was so gross in Portland.
Yeah.
We had the whole rest of the day. We did some shooting.
So with that said,
squatching.
We did some shooting, and
tried to sight my new toy, which we're still working on. I need a better one.
So anyway, but we went and hiked up where that stump was and took some pictures of the stump, and then we went down the power cut a little ways, and we started looking around, and we found this footprint. Christy can't see it. She hasn't seen it. I'm gonna have to email it to her in a sec. But We found a footprint. Now, this is in the water. If you want to see how it's broken up, I've highlighted it here a little bit. But it's not very distinct because it was only half a print in the mud. But we found a whole trail. We found, I don't know what, 7, 8 footprints.
Yeah.
But they were in grass where it was all smashed down, so you couldn't really cast it. But we followed that trail from that cut, and that stump basically is where it was, and we found the trail that went through the woods straight to our campsite.
Yep.
So I'll have to show Christy when we get back up there. So that'll be awesome. So, any questions for Christy yet?
Craig says that, first of all, Johnny calls Christy Annie Oakley. Okay, so Craig says he's had that happen to his legs too, seemed for no reason. How? And I think that's normal infrasound effect, where you might not hear it, but your body responds to it.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
Justin,
I saw a
next
program
time we're
on.
There, this was kind of.
Go ahead, Christy.
I was going to say I saw a program on wild cats. It had to do with lions and tigers and how they paralyze their prey is with this infrasound when they roar. And when they were describing the side effects, I was like, oh my God, that's totally what happened. I remember calling you, Scott, and saying, oh my gosh, I just saw this thing. I think that's what it was. And we had that whole discussion on infrasound because I had not known what that was. And some animals just do it, not even when they're attacking, they just do it. And I was like, oh.
So moving on in the comments. Justin says he wants to meet up with us because he's only 60 miles from that area.
Okay.
So
we'll let you know.
I didn't say that again. Can you repeat that?
There's a guy on the chat. His name's Justin. He said he's only 60 miles from there, and he'd like to meet with us next time we go up there. So.
Oh, I would love to. I have such a shortage of people to go out with. Yeah. And it's always more fun when other people witness it and it's not just me saying something.
Yeah. Exactly.
And so this was a really impromptu trip. You know, we were over there. She was over there. We all, she had time off. And so we just, okay, let's go. But last year we arranged a squatching meetup in that same general area. And we had quite a few people join us. So once the world regains some sanity about get-togethers, we will put something up.
Yeah. So yeah, we will do. We might set up an expedition or something, and we can go out to where we were, and because that was a great spot.
It was a fabulous spot.
Fabulous spot, and then we can hike up that road, maybe try to make it to the top of that hill without falling off.
I just discovered a road to come on the backside where we can almost drive to it.
Oh, okay.
Because there's a washout, so the road doesn't connect anymore, but I found a backside that we're going to go out this next weekend and explore, my hunting partner and I.
Okay.
So, I have to say this too. That area is connected to Detroit by that power cut line, and you have on your website that where the hunters had that encounter. As the crow flies, that's very close, right? Not as you drive, but as the crow flies.
Right.
That's a continuance of that power cut.
Right. So the video she's referring to is our Bigfoot 911 call video. If you want to search our videos, it's called Bigfoot 911. If you want to watch the one she just referred to. So
with that, we have 4 minutes.
All right. Oh, and Terry says he wants to come back up.
I know.
Too,
I said it would be great to see him again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terry was one of those guys that was with us last year.
At Armstrong, when we camped up at Armstrong.
Yeah.
That was super fun, actually, because that area has a great story around it, too. We don't have time for it. It's not my story, but it's from the book.
Right.
And that's a Native American area.
So with that, make sure you go to squatchoregon.com and click on the store link and buy your copy of the Oregon Bigfoot Highway. While you can, we sell out of those really quick.
Yeah.
The Forest Service said that too. They said that's their hottest seller.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is, because all those stories in there are just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And what's great about it is they've got actual map locations of almost all the stories in there. And so you can actually, look at that, look at the map and say,
Go
oh,
to the
that's
site.
and go to that site. And Christy's done that a whole bunch.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
And I think that's also another reason why I had so many run-ins, especially during the fire. Just to wrap that fire year, that whole area from Bagby almost to Detroit was thick with Bigfoot reports, and the store was getting a ton of reports. I'd go to the store, and they're like, "Oh, you're the Bigfoot girl. We got more reports."
Okay,
awesome.
so I have a question to answer. Justin says, how can I get in touch with her? I'm camping all the time. I could show her where I've had encounters. So go to squatchoregon.com, and there's a bio page there. Yep. Do we have contact information up?
Do you mind us putting your email up there?
Yeah, I think it is up there because I get emails from the site.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. If you put in, if you click submit a report, she actually gets those.
Yeah. So, Justin, just go to the website. You can contact her through the website.
Yeah, and
if you send it to us on accident, we'll just send it to her. So easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Yeah. So we'll forward it to her and get you guys connected, so she's got somebody else to go out with.
Yeah, the more the merrier.
So, thank you so much for joining us tonight, for suffering through our technical difficulties at the beginning. But now that we know how to do this well, if you would like to be featured on one of our next shows, get a hold of us and we will Skype you in. Because some of you have got great stories, and these are the kind of things that people want to hear. And this is what we're going to do when we start traveling the country one of these days, which is the subject of another show in the future.
Hashtag
Squatch America. We have the new logo. We have the website domain saved. It is coming before you know it.
Yep.
So thank you so much. Please like, subscribe, share with your friends. Let's have some great conversation on the comments to get those algorithms up. I love saying that word, algorithms. And we will see you next time on an evening in the Paddy Wagon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.